Good morning and welcome to the beginning of week 11. It is Monday. We are doing 12k easy today. So nice shake out after yesterday's 32k. Last week was a good week. We hit 106k. And this week I think I'm going for a personal best mileage week of, I think it's 111. I can't remember off the top of my head what I've got in, but my furthest week is 109, I believe. So yeah, breaking records. That's the thing I love about training is that you have a class week the week before, but on a Monday you wake up, that Strava graph, it says 0. And so you've just got to rebuild again. And yeah, that's quite a nice process, I think. Just, resets, which is, I don't know where I'm going with this, to be honest with you. Fuck. That's a sign from the universe telling me to stop talking. Good morning, it is Tuesday. We are doing intervals. What a beautiful morning it is. Let me show you once I get underneath this bridge. It's beautiful. What we're doing, 8x1k today with about 90 seconds of rest. I think that's what we're going to go for. But yeah, look at this. Whoa. Can't really see. There you go. Look at the sky. Lovely. Whew, there we go. That's that session over and done with. 8x1k. I set out to go around 3:30 to 3:35 in the repeats, but from the very first 1 or 2 reps, it was just obvious that was going to happen. Wasn't far off though. Legs just felt heavy. Ultimately, that's just the nature of marathon training. Like at this point in the block, your legs aren't going to be fresh. I've run 60k in the last 3 days, so it's a lot. Woo! Let's debrief that interval session then while I make my breakfast. Multitasking as usual at its finest. So, as I said, I think in the video, I tried to go out at 3:30, 3:35 pace, somewhere in that region, because that's around my 5k pace. But yeah, it wasn't really happening today. Like, I knew from the first rep that it was going to be difficult for some reason. So yeah, the legs just felt a bit heavy. It is what it is. C'est la vie. Still managed to average 3:37 per kilometre, which I think is pretty good. Pretty happy with that. And yeah, it was a good session, some good speed in the legs, which is the main objective of those sessions. See you tomorrow for another one. Jonathan Ross over here for another run, just an easy one. So yeah, let's go. Good morning, it is Wednesday. We are doing a 12k recovery run, carbon copy of Monday, just taking it nice and easy. When I started the run, I thought, could be a bit of bother here, because my left calf was quite sore. And I was like, oh no, is this the start of an injury? But it basically went away after like 1.5k. So yeah, we get to that fun stage of the block where you've got injury paranoia about every little niggle, every little pain, ache, a bit of muscle tightness, and you think, oh shit, that's the block done. Good morning, it is Thursday, and I'm doing 21k before work, 21k easy as well. So yeah, ridiculous. We're in city season of marathon training, 100% now. But yeah, got a couple of podcasts to see me through this effort. Rest is history stuff on Jack the Ripper. Nice light listening. It's very windy as well, which is not an ideal, climate to be running in. So, oh well, we're gonna get it done. So that's half of the 21k done. I'm just turning back home now. I'm actually quite enjoying myself. It's quite a nice Thursday morning, a bit windy, a bit cloudy, but yeah, getting into a nice flow state. Good morning, it is Friday, which is usually a rest day for me, but instead of that, I'm doing 6k easy today. And the reason being is just because when I've got big mileage targets to hit, it doesn't really make any sense to have a rest day to get to the mileage that I need to hit. So I thought 6k, not really too taxing, and some extra kilometres into the weekly mileage target. So that's what we're doing, 6k. I'll be halfway through my 5-week string of 100-kilometre weeks tomorrow. And what I mean by that is halfway through in terms of the distance. So let's do a little MOT on the body. Generally feeling pretty good. Mild discomfort in the left knee. Don't really know what it is, but it's not really pain. It's just discomfort, and it sort of comes and goes. I'll feel it for like a second. I think it's just me being paranoid, to be honest.
Good morning, it is Saturday. What a day it is, look at this. Sensational stuff. Sun is shining, the birds are fucking singing, and I'm running 16k. Let's have it. It is a standard Saturday morning service. A 16k run followed by the gym every time. This is, well, except last week. This is the one that couldn't fail. This is the one that's never failed. Here's a small tip for you. Not every pain that you feel during a marathon block needs to be taken seriously as like a potential injury. Now look, I'm not a physio, so please don't take this as medical advice, it's not. But what I am giving you is my advice from the perspective of someone who's now training for their 6th marathon. So I've done this quite a lot in relative terms. I'm almost at the end of my training block. Well, I'm at week 11, so I'm at the end of the high mileage, coming towards the end of the high mileage section. At this point, it's quite rare that I have a run where something doesn't hurt a bit, or I don't notice something a bit, or feel a bit of discomfort somewhere. For instance, I think I mentioned this yesterday on my run, my knee was quite sore. Well, not quite sore, just a bit of discomfort. Today, my knee is not sore anymore. My right ankle is sore though. So it's just a constant like chopping and changing of different little aches and pains, but that's mostly what they are, aches and pains. This is my 3rd full year of marathon training now, and not continuously for the same marathon. That'll be a long block. But I've only been seriously injured, not seriously injured, but actually injured once, and it's kept me out for a week last year. You'll remember it if you were watching the Chicago build. And believe me, from that experience, if you're injured, you'll know about it. The signs you've got to look out for is either pain gets worse while you're running, it doesn't really go away during the day. When you're not running, it gets worse over time as well when you continue running. Pains that are there for like 1 or 2 days or go in and out during the run and then go away again, they're not really that serious. Now obviously, keep an eye on them. If they do get worse, if they're impacting your form and making your run worse, then yes, get it checked. And if you're really concerned, go to a physio. But they're bloody expensive. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is it's not normal to run this much. I'm not even just talking about how much I run, I'm talking about how much anyone runs in training for a marathon. It's not normal for your body. You're going to be running more further than you've ever ran. It just is going to hurt a bit.
There we go. That is Saturday morning done and dusted. 16k easy in the bag this morning. Very nice. And then follow it up, of course, by going to the gym. Come back to a lovely Amazon delivery. We have got some Beta Fuel gels and some of these sodium capsules from Precision Fuel. I've never used those before, but they're meant to be very good for obviously replenishing sodium, which is quite a good thing when it's very warm, you're sweating a lot. And famously, the last 3 marathons, well, the 3 marathons I did last year were all pretty warm and pretty hot unexpectedly. So especially Manchester and Chicago was the same. Edinburgh was not as hot as it was windy, but yeah, anyway, trying to see whether I can counteract the negative impact of potential heat. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's not very hot at the moment. It's like 2 or 3 degrees outside. It's ridiculous. You can't really prepare for a warm spring marathon training in winter in the UK, but it is what it is. You can, though, practice some of the fueling that you might use, and so I'm going to practice those sodium tablets. I'm going to take 2, 1 for every sort of hour I'll be out running tomorrow, just to see basically how they settle in the stomach. And you know, you never want to try anything new on race day. So yeah, I'm also going to try and have more gels than I normally would, but I'll talk more about that tomorrow. Long run, big effort, marathon pace session tomorrow. Rest of the day, the agenda is clean the flat and just chill. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning all, it is Sunday. I'm cracking into an energy drink because in about 40 minutes I am going to head out onto my long run. Gone for Tenzing this time, not the Celsius ones that I usually go for. A bit less caffeine in these and they're actually a bit bigger as well. So I might want to piss more, but apparently it's equal to 2 cups of coffee. Caffeine? Caffeine. Fuck. It's equal to 2 cups of coffee. That's mental. There's only 160 milligrams in it then. And a Celsius has got 200 mils, so that must be like 2.5 cups. God, Jesus Christ. No wonder it makes me shake. Anyway. That's pretty good. Can't speak today. Anyway, today's session is going to be just continuous marathon pace. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how far I'm going to go. I mean, total distance needs to be 32k for the whole session. So I'm thinking I'm going to do 5k, just sort of warm up, get into it, get into the groove, as Madonna said. And then probably I'm targeting 24k of marathon pace continuous, which is a lot. But I think to get that in the legs will be really nice. And then in a couple of weeks' time, I'm doing another big marathon pace session, which, yeah, will be good. So we'll see how I feel. And then I'm going to do a cool down at the end. I'm going to be having a bit of company, which is nice for some of it. Meeting up with a mate of mine called Josh, who I've never actually ran with before, but we sort of got talking through social media and the power of social media. So yeah, he's going to jump in for a bit. But he ran like a 16-minute 5k yesterday or something ridiculous. So yeah, I don't think he'll be doing the whole thing. So yeah, anyway, that's where we're going. I will maybe talk a little bit during the session potentially, but probably during the marathon pace block, I'm just going to be in the zone, or try and be in the zone. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. See you in a bit. That is 31k done. 24k at marathon pace. Very, very nice. Let's go through some of the data, shall we? Live on my watch. Here we go. So we did, in the end, 5k warm up. I'm not really in the shot here. I'm not very good at recording myself. We did 5k warm up. Well, just over 5k actually. And then we did 24 meaty kilometers at marathon pace. Let's get into the date. You have to scroll down so far on the chorus to find the fucking data. 24k, 1 hour 41. Average pace 4:13 per kilometer. And then I did an almost 2k cool down, but 31k in total. That was hard work, man. That was hard work. Didn't really film any of that during it because it was struggle city out there. It was headwind on the way back and headwind on the way out as well. So I thought, oh, going out way, happy days. At least on the way back, the wind will be behind me. Wrong. The wind changed direction and I ended up with it going towards me anyway for the second half. So that was brutal. Not very enjoyable when you're running in those conditions. I was joined by Josh for the first probably 11k, which actually was really good. Like, when you're with other people, you just get into a bit of a flow state. I was probably going a little bit faster than I should have. So I think I was averaging like 4:09 when I was with Josh, and then it slipped. The average overall went down to 4:13, but that's just because I was knackered, I think, as well. It's the end of a big week, so I'm not worried too much about it. And, you know, it's a little bit harder when you're by yourself. You have to really dig in. So yeah. Felt pretty good though overall, and happy with that effort. I got to like 20k and considered calling it every like 200 or 300 meters from that point until 24k, but it was just in my head. I was like, no, this is psychologically a good test of what it's like to do in the marathon, because I'm gonna feel shit. I'm gonna feel like I want to quit, and I just didn't give myself the option really to do that. I was just like, oh, well, 22k is good. It's like, well, what's the point? You may as well do another 2k. What's that in the grand scheme of things when you've already done 22? So yeah, happy that I stuck in and did the full 24k as planned. And yeah, the legs actually felt pretty decent. Like, aerobically was all right. Wind was made it hard. Probably shouldn't have worn a jacket. It's a little bit too warm. Salt all over me. Very nice. And yeah, there we go. That brings my PB week to an end. Gee, I just had that realization. I was like, this is the furthest I've ever ran in a week. Almost 112 kilometers, I believe. So yeah, just ridiculous stuff. Getting this far, it's still in one piece, touch wood, is pretty good. Happy with it. So next week, another week of building, fuck. And then we're gonna go into my biggest ever week of training, peak week in week 13. Yeah, this has been week 11. Thank you very much for watching. I do really appreciate all the support that you give on the videos and all the views. Very, very nice. Thank you for everything. See you next week.